I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop, and I'm back with another classic and vintage episode where we take vintage blocks and make them fresh for today. We picked the Blazing Star block. It was published in Kansas City Star newspaper in 1930. That was the first time it was published. And we've simplified the block so that you don't have any points to match up. So it simplifies it just a little bit. Today we decided to feature Maureen McCormick's first collection with Moda, which is super exciting. It's got a nice retro vibe. This is a free block pattern you can get at Fat Quarter Shop. If you want to turn it into the quilt you see behind me, we do have a low price PDF. I will be stitching with Aurifil 2021, and I'm also going to be using a Creative Grids 3.5-inch square ruler just to trim up all of our small pieces. So let's get started. In each of your blocks, we're going to be making 8 flying geese. They look like this. They are very small. So precision is important. You're going to take a fabric G rectangle and a fabric D square. The most important part of this step is to make sure these are cut accurately because they're so small. You're going to draw a line on the wrong side of one of your squares. I use a Frixion pen because the heat from your iron will make your ink disappear later. And you'll put it on one side. And it's important to pin because you're working with such a small piece of fabric. And you're going to stitch directly on the line. And you will see that we've sewn directly on the line. You take your small ruler, use the 1/4-inch line on your ruler, trim that. Then you will press and you will get this piece. Then you will take another square, put it on the other side. Again, using a pen really helps with small pieces. Stitch on the line. It looks like this. Trim a 1/4-inch away and press, and you're going to have this. You want 8 flying geese that measure 1.5 by 2.5, and these are going to go on the outside of your block. Now we're going to make half square triangles, and I love that we're working with this fabric because this is the exact wallpaper I might have had in the 70s. You're going to take a fabric F and a fabric B square, draw a line from corner to corner on your lighter fabric. We're going to make some half square triangles. Place these right sides together. On these I will pin twice. You're going to stitch a 1/4-inch from each side of that line, and it will look just like this. So you can see my white stitches right here. Then we will cut this apart. That creates 2 separate half square triangles, and you can see how they look. You're going to press those, and from each of those you're going to get 2, and you're going to make 4 for each block. And if you really want to make this faster, you can use our Triangles on a Roll 2-inch finished triangle paper, which is H200. Now we're going to start putting our pieces together. You're going to take a fabric H square, 2 flying geese, and 1 half square triangle. To make sure you have everything going the right way, you just make sure all of your darker fabrics are in the center. You'll put this together and this together. Stitch with a 1/4-inch seam and press according to your pattern. If you press according to the pattern, all your seams will nest. Then you will come back and stitch this seam, and you will have your corner unit. You're going to make 4 for each block. Our last unit in the block is our star point. You're going to take a fabric E square and a fabric C square. Place your fabric C on the bottom left corner. Draw a line from corner to corner. Again, on this, cutting accurately and sewing accurately on the line will help make this more accurate. You're going to stitch directly on that line. It looks just like this. We'll trim a 1/4-inch away and press, and it will look like this. And when you're looking at your block, you want to make sure that you've got a right angle right here. And if you don't, then you might want to start over and try again, or your point right here might not match. You're going to take another square, put it right next to the one we just did, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Stitch directly on that line. And when you're starting to stitch, it's easier if you start on this side. Since you do have a seam here, it's easier to start here and end here. It's going to look like this. And again, we're going to trim and press, and you're going to make 4 star units for each block. And when you're looking at this, you want to make sure this is 1/4 inch away from the bottom. And if it's a little bit off, look, we've got this 3.5 inch square ruler. We've got this that's hitting there, and there's a tiny bit of fabric right here. You can just trim it off, and that will work perfectly in your block, and you're going to make 4 for each block. Now we're going to put our block together, and you're going to put together matching corner units, matching star point units, and your center. You'll stitch down here, press, come back, and stitch the last 2 seams, and this is how your beautiful block will look. It's 9 inches finished. It's a little bit harder in our Classic and Vintage series, but I know you can do it. I can't wait to see all of the blocks that you make with this. Remember, this is a free block. If you want to make it into a quilt with the pinwheel block, we do have a low-priced pattern, and we release videos every week, so we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.